Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just gonna leave meeting.
Leave meeting now. Okay. So you all good to start?
Yeah, cool. Sorry. I just put this.
Too easy. So hey guys, we're here with the founder and business owner of the Layers platform, full-time worker, music wizard, and our fellow Niuean, Frazer Strickland. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. What a pleasure. What an intro. Wow.
Yeah. Sorry, should have had like the drum roll and everything going on.
Yeah. Hey, editor, make sure you put that in.
Yeah, add some stuff in the background. But it's so good to have you here. I was just mentioning before, grateful to have you as our first guest here on our podcast. First of all, congratulations on your 1 year with the Layers platform, such a big milestone. And yeah, I guess we'll just jump straight into it. And I think one thing that stood out to me, since it's been a year, like that's gone so fast, just reflecting back on that time, what was one defining moment and one of the most challenging that you've had during that time?
Cool. Yeah, that's a good question. Firstly, thank you. Thanks for having me. I think it's a huge pleasure to be, your first guest.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you. Defining moment was the question, I think you said.
Yeah, so one like defining moment, so like a highlight, and then one of the most challenging that you've had during this time.
Cool. I think there's been a few like little moments that have led to like a reassuring moment for myself. I couldn't say there was just one moment where it clicked for me. But one like that did stand out for me was the pop-up shop that we did in March, I believe.
Yep.
And we were just selling through our stock, which was our crew necks, and we did a special Phoenix tee for the pop-up.
Did that one have
yeah,
like a particular meaning behind that? Because I saw that one was different.
yeah. So
Yeah.
it was mainly just to signify like, like it was just to celebrate really like the occasion.
Yeah.
And plus, like, to be honest, for that pop-up store, I got told 2 weeks before the actual pop-up thing. So
Oh, no
I
way.
got invited like super last minute. And then I was just like, man, like I barely have any stock to sell. Like I maybe had 20 or so crew necks left.
Yeah.
And then tote bags, scarves. And then I was just like that's literally all I have. I'm gonna pull up to a pop-up shop with 20 items. I felt like super like underprepared.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, you know what? Like I spent one whole night just designing that tee, the Phoenix tee. And like the main it was mainly just to celebrate, the milestone of having a pop-up, and then just something to sell too, because like I was literally just had 20 crew necks and a couple tote bags and stuff. So yeah, I was like, I need to like make something ASAP. So I made it like, so the night that I accepted, to do the pop-up, I designed that t-shirt, sent it on Friday, like, so it was a Thursday night, sent it on Friday night to the printers, and then yeah, I picked it up the day before the pop-up.
Oh,
And then
wow.
sold it like straight away. So it was like pretty hectic, like the lead up to the pop-up. But yeah, besides all that, at that pop-up was like reassuring for me. There was a reassuring moment for myself was when I was standing behind the counter and I was just looking across the room, and I just saw like friends catching up with each other, just members of our community getting along with one another and just like mingling. And I was just like, man, this is like what it's all about, for myself. Like I've always wanted to build a community of like-minded people that like get along, like that can agree to certain themes that we do release, and like they believe in what we're doing. And man, that was like terrible. That was a terrible description. But
No,
like,
that's
yeah,
awesome.
like
Like people who understand the vision and the journey, right?
exactly,
Like
yeah, yeah.
relate to
And
it.
so
Yeah.
yeah, like-minded people, and I was just buzzing out like, and all these people are here because of us, like because of what we're creating and what we're trying to do and build here. So I was just like, man, this is like mean. And every time that we do drops, like our first drop with the shirts, I just like, I was just like, I'm just gonna do this. Like, I'm just gonna run off this idea, the Layers platform. I'm gonna put out this design, and then whoever's keen to buy, like, cool. And I was thinking, like, I'll probably definitely sell 20 shirts because, like, I have a big family. So I'm like, okay, I'm definitely gonna sell 20.
Yeah, you're like, family come through.
Yeah. So my goal is 50. So I was like, I'll make 50 shirts. They'll leave me with 30 left over. And I was like, okay, cool. And so I did the pre-order, and then we closed the pre-order, and I had like 97 orders or something like that. And I was just like buzzing out.
And that was your first drop as well.
Yeah, our first drop. And I was just like, what the heck? And I was like talking to some people before I did the pre-order that had history with like doing merch and apparel and stuff, and they're just like, yeah man, just like, you know, aim for like small numbers and you'll gradually build to the hundreds and stuff. And I was just like, oh yeah, cool. Like, so they're saying how tough it is starting out, and you know, like the struggle of just little steps that lead to the big jackpot at the end, you know.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
to get 100 in the first drop, I was just like, is this normal? Like, is this this is not what everyone said. Everyone said you get 20,
yeah,
you get 40, 60. I was like, what's up, man? Nah. Nah, but I was like, man, this is like crazy. And I was like, I was taken back by the support, and just like by like the friends and my family, and then like even mutual friends or just people that were just keen to support what we were building there at Layers platform. So yeah, that was like another defining moment. But I guess like some of the struggles that we've had, it's also like, I have no background in business. I have no background in graphic design. I have like literally like,
mate, you can't even tell that you don't have any background in either of that.
Yeah, we don't have it. Like, I mean, the only business background I have was like NCEA, so like high school.
Back in high school.
Yeah, high school, like level 2 business or like level 3 business or whatever it was. Shout out to Mr. Daji, my teacher. But yeah, like that was probably the only business background I've had in terms of like learning and stuff. And a whole lot of YouTube videos and
like self-taught.
To learn Photoshop, and then like it was just a whole lot of trial and error, designing things, saving things, sending it to like my friends, just seeing what people would react to, and like if they thought that it was good or if it was like alright. Like, especially my older brother, he lives in Australia at the moment. But like even his input too, like he was like, oh, you could probably fix this up. He didn't have background in Photoshop or anything, but you know, I just knew he had like, I don't want to say it, he's gonna get a big head, but like he has good style, and he's got a good eye for like a good eye for like style and colors and things that go together. And so I was just sending him stuff, and he was like, maybe put this here and fix this there. But you know, at the same time, just give me like good constructive feedback. So like, yeah, that was like a setback. Like some things that were a bit of a struggle was just learning the basics of business, learning the basics for Photoshop, and just getting my head around business, like the business side of things in terms of like shipping, especially.
Oh, definitely. You don't know how much it costs. Like,
exactly. Yeah, I didn't know how much it costs to actually send to Australia, or like anywhere really across the world. So to be honest, I still don't know. Like, like I have a better idea on it now, but that was a big shock. Or even like website design. Like, I have no idea what to do. I had to learn Shopify, watch YouTube videos, just ask around, ask people. But yeah, just like a lot of things that I had no knowledge of that I do now. But I mean, that was the whole thing. Was like those things that I struggled with were things that I was using as excuses to not start and just to like not do this at all. But I was just like, you know what, stuff it. I'm just gonna do it and then learn as I go, which is what I've done, and you know, still continually learning. So there's still heaps to learn and like relearn, because the stuff that I learned from the first job till now, I'm just like, wait, I'm pretty sure I've dealt with this before.
Yeah.
But I'm like, yeah. So it probably helps to write down these things.
Yeah.
But yeah, like there's probably some defining moments and some struggles along this journey so far. That's for sure.
No, that's awesome. I think that's cool that you mentioned that it's continually like a learning process.
Mm,
Like you said, you're still learning the basics of it all and still learning as you go. And yeah, one thing that you mentioned in that was that you said you use that almost like as an excuse to not pursue that dream, to not pursue the layers platform. So that's one thing I liked about your first drop. It was that saying, if not now, then when. I think for
mm,
me, that kind of like stood out to me because that's one thing that stopped me a lot from pursuing my own goals or personal projects. Because
definitely.
I think you mentioned in that first blog post, you said that it was easy to brush your aspirations to the side and wait for that perfect moment.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, so like, what do you usually do when you find yourself when you brush those moments aside? Like, yeah, what do you usually do when you find that you make excuses to not pursue that goal?
Yeah. That's a good question. To be honest, I feel like it's like like what I said earlier, it's a continual thing. Like because I started layer, like I eventually started layers, but I was talking to my friends about layers or like starting this community kind of thing
Mm-hmm.
for like multiple years, and I was just like, nah, like I'm gonna do it, but like right now it's just not the time. Like, yeah, like I'm gonna do it, but
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for this, or like I'm just waiting to purchase Photoshop, or I'm just I'm saving up to do this and that. So I think it really just comes down to like how bad do you actually want it. Like I was talking about it for ages, and just like everyone was like, see, I'll bump into a mate, and I was telling him about this idea. Then I wouldn't see him for like 8 months or a year, and he's like, "Hey, how did that idea go that you said?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah,
Well,
yeah, I'm still keen. I'm still keen to start it up." So like that was happening like way too many times. I was like, stuff that like I've talked about this for so long. I just got to go do it now. And honestly, like looking back at it, like I wouldn't recommend doing that. Like, don't wait till you feel like you have to take action before you do take action. Like, and that's something that I'm still continually trying to learn. Like, I'm talking about like new ideas and stuff that I want to do, but it's only myself holding myself back and stopping me from doing so. And it's just a matter of like how bad do you want to do it? Like if it's something that you can see working or that you think will benefit yourself, then just do it. And it's not as easy as just doing it, but like you just gotta, look at yourself and be like, if this is really gonna take you to the next level, or if this is gonna take you here to help you get to the next place that you want to be, then it's really just up to yourself. Also, just having friends, like close circle of friends of people who can keep you accountable. Um, and that's what it was. Like people were just hitting me up, like, "Yo, you're telling me about this for like how long now? Like, finally do it. Like, just do it." And so, yeah, like once I've did the first drop and then the pop up and the crew necks, like my close friends are like, "Man, you're doing it. Like, this
yeah,
is
that's
so mean. Like, you're
awesome.
finally there." I'm like, "Yeah, freak, I know. No,
That
I
time,
know. Finally, yeah. Like, yeah,
no,
yeah."
that's
So I'm
so
like,
cool that you mentioned that having like a support network, right? Like
definitely.
who hold you accountable for your goals and also support you in your dreams and that. So
Yeah,
that's
I
pretty
think that's
cool.
huge. Like the people around you, the like if you look at your circle of friends, like if they have no ambition or drive, like then it's highly likely that you're gonna fall into that sort of mentality or that sort of same kind of state of mind. So I consider myself pretty lucky that I do have like a good group of friends and a wide range of friends too. Like people from different cultures and different backgrounds, and whether it be like nationality, religion,
Yeah.
um, and I think that's just like one of the highlights of like living in New Zealand or in Auckland, especially. You just get like a wide range of cultures and then a wider perspective on life in general. So, but yeah, like shout out to my friends and my family. They've held me accountable a
Oh,
lot. Like Like especially in between drops too. They're like, "When's the next drop?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm designing it. I'm designing it." But like, I'm
I'm
just being
designing it. It's like, thanks for giving
lazy.
me the push. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, freak. Yeah, you're right. Like, I can talk all about it. Like, I'm designing it. But again, it's up to me if I actually want to
Yeah.
actually design, like start designing it
Yeah. So
instead of
when
talking.
so when you like jump straight into like starting like the layers,
Yep.
were you like, oh, finally, what was I putting this off for so long? What was that your
Yeah.
reaction or
Yeah.
like
Like after like packing the orders and sorting that all out, I was like, man, like because I thoroughly enjoyed that, like going through people's orders, packing them away, like that was so satisfying for myself. And then I was just like, man, like I could have had this feeling years ago, and like I just haven't done it. But then at the same time, in delaying it, I did grow and learn and experience other things as well. So like it sort of did work out perfectly in terms of like the timing,
yeah,
but it would have never happened if I didn't just do it
just
at the
go
end of the
for it.
day. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's awesome. I think yeah, definitely agree with what you said. There's no perfect moment, eh? Like if you want it to happen, you just gotta
Exactly.
just go for
Just go for
gold.
it. Yeah, exactly. I know so many people who are still waiting for that moment, like whether it be in like work, like waiting for a moment to like find a new job, but
Yeah.
because they're so safe where they are, they don't leave. Like that was me too. Like I was not keen to leave the place that I was working at because I was so comfortable there. Like had an all good income, like everything was fine. But then at the same time, I felt like, oh man, like this sucks. Like this job sucks. Like
It's
I
just
could do
becomes
so much
routine,
better.
eh?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like the
Yeah.
constant routine, and you just get bored, and then yeah. But like, so there's heaps of like, it doesn't have to be going after your goals. It could also be just knowing um like how much more you can do, and like how much more you can grow and improve yourself. It's just a matter of like how bad do you want to actually take yourself to the next level, kind of thing.
No, that's awesome. I like how you didn't just kind of like limit it to a business perspective, but also kind of like life, almost like your
Mm,
potential in life, like you said, not
definitely.
limiting
Yeah.
yourself to that. And I think it's all about comfort zones, getting out of that, because I feel like we all get too
100%.
comfortable where we're at, like you said, with work, with even where we're living. Sometimes we have a goal to move to a different area. I know I grew up in a small town, and that was just the path where everyone stayed at because no one else in their family moved. I guess it's just
Mm,
getting out of that comfort zone and seeing where life takes you. And that's kind of the same thing here with like starting your own business. You just never know until you try.
exactly. I think yeah, like a big thing for myself too was it's just like you sort of have to become fearless in a way of just putting all that doubt and all those worries at, and just to be like, what, I'm just gonna take the risk, and hopefully it pays off like at the end of the day, because like it is like you can calculate like what could go wrong and what could go right, but you just wouldn't know until you actually try it. So
Yeah.
that was a huge thing. Like once I got over that, I'm just like, I'm just gonna give it a crack. I'm just
Yeah.
gonna do it like 100%, like committing to it. And then once I'm gonna do it, then and it fails, then at least I could say like I gave it my best shot, and then I'll move on and look for something else to do for myself. But because it hasn't completely failed yet, I'm just gonna I'm gonna drag it out. I'm gonna drag it, see how many more flukes I got in the next couple drops, and then I'm still keen to fail. So nah, I got some more ideas. So if this failed, I'm going off.
You've
Nah.
got heaps to snack on it.
Nah,
No,
yeah.
that's
If this
that's
fails, I'm going
cool.
back to Bunnings. Nah.
Hey, shout out to Bunnings, eh? Oh, yeah, so that was like no, that's awesome. Everything that you shared was pretty relatable. I'm pretty sure everyone can relate that into some aspects of their life.
Mm.
I guess like the another like you went from if not now then when, that was your first drop, and then you're dropping something very soon, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Stop
definitely.
and yeah, just kind of wanted to talk more about where that idea and concept came from. Just heads up, this won't be released before
Oh
until
yeah, I'm just gonna say.
until the drop. Just in case you're like, oh, she's out here
What can I
spilling.
say? What can I say? Nah,
No,
nah,
like you
cool.
can,
Hey.
yeah. So I'll be releasing this. Once everyone hears this, yeah, your drop would have already like been released. So, you went from if not now, then when, and then the latest concept you have is direction over speed. So, yeah, what brought that to life?
Um, I'll be honest. Like, I actually got this idea from someone's Instagram bio, like
Oh
a basketball player's
oh,
Instagram bio,
true.
and I was just, but at the time, I was pretty certain that like I had my next theme for my next drop,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like maybe 80% sure that that was the one for it, but
Yeah.
I just it didn't feel right. Like it just didn't like feel right for myself, and I was just like, as much as everything was like going like aligning with that idea, I just wasn't 100% behind it. And then I just saw that direction over speed and on Instagram. I was just like, man, that's pretty cool. And
Yeah.
then like, it just stuck with me for like 2 weeks. And I was just like, you know what, like that is like really cool. Like that's actually like super relatable because um like sometimes you just get caught up trying to keep up. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, for myself, like, oh man, not the deep ones. Nah, nah, like I'll be
Spill it.
honest, like I'll be straight up, like
Mm-hmm.
it was very hard for myself not to compare my journey to other like my friends or like my other family members' journey, their own personal journey. As much as you shouldn't, like
Mm-hmm.
it's just human nature to do that.
Yeah.
And so like a little bit about myself, I didn't go to like after high school, I didn't study.
Mm-hmm.
Um and like I'm part of the Church of the Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Mm-hmm.
And so some of my friends, like if you might know the Mormon church, they go on their missions.
Yeah.
I didn't serve a mission. And so like I was like comparing my journey and my way through life to other people.
Mm-hmm.
And I just
Because you
felt
didn't
like,
go through that traditional
yeah,
path
yeah,
that everyone
exactly.
else in
Like
your circle kind of
I
went through,
didn't go
right?
uni after
Yeah.
school. I didn't go on a mission for the church. Like, so I was really like lost and felt really lost and conflicted. Like,
Yeah.
oh man, like is this like am I failing in life? Am I like not doing anything right? Or I'm not doing anything right, but like my life compared to other people's, like I feel like I'm way back here and they're like far ahead, and so um and that's so easy to get caught up with because people on like especially on social media, like people post all of their successes, but
Mm-hmm.
no one really posts the struggle or their failures. And so I feel like our generation, it's quite hard to like those stuff does play a little role in your self-esteem.
Yeah.
And as much as you say that it doesn't affect you, it naturally does in a way. Like it'll be there in the back of your head. So
Yeah.
the
Whoever
theme
says it
direction.
doesn't, they're lying. No.
Yeah, yeah. If you say it doesn't affect you, nah,
Like, who
nah,
are
no,
you now?
nah, yeah, like straight up, like so the theme direction over speed, like I just felt like that was super relatable for myself because I thought that I had to do XYZ to keep up with John, James, and Peter, and
Everyone in the
the
Bible,
apostles.
no.
The apostles, nah, thanks. Yeah, yeah, like I was comparing myself to my friends and my family, like people in my family and their journeys that they're on. But um, and that's so easy to get caught up, running in circles, trying to chase your own tail. But
Yeah.
I feel like if you start taking little steps in the right direction, that's huge. Like those little steps that you do for yourself, those little steps that you do to reach your goals and to reach your like purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like that's even if you do fail, like even if you like set some goals in the right direction,
Mm-hmm.
that's way more better than running around in circles doing the same routine, um, living the life that you should be,
Yeah.
because everyone else is doing it. It's all good. Like
Yeah.
I feel like breaking out of that and just doing what's best for yourself was a huge thing, in terms of like wanting to go ahead with the theme direction over speed.
Yeah. So
Um,
like how do you kind of like keep on that track when you're like surrounded by all these distractions? Like for you personally, when you kind of see on Instagram, you see everyone
mm,
doing this, whether like in life or with business wise, like how do you kind of block out the noise and not get too carried away with comparing your journey?
I- yeah, it's a good question. Like it is hard. Like I was saying before,
Mhm.
it's inevitable to compare yourself to other people. Some people are better than
Yeah.
others, though. Like, don't get me wrong. Some people don't compare themselves at all.
Yeah.
But personally, like for myself, um, to sort of block that out, you just have to remember your why, remembering your purpose, like remembering what you're doing this for. So for the Layers platform, like I want to build a community of like-minded people coming together. And so I'm just like, okay, if I post this, is that gonna get me like is that gonna get the reaction for that ultimate goal of building a following of people who can relate to certain themes?
Yeah.
If I share this song, if I post this story, if I repost this business, like does everything that I do for the Layers platform on social media, does that align with what we stand for and what our goal is at the end? Personally, though, like that's on a business scale. Personally, for myself, I try to take in everything that's going to inspire me more than um, put me off my goals and like my like goals that I have for myself and then goals that I
Yeah.
have for Layers as well.
Mhm.
Um, like like the people you follow is huge. Like if you're gonna follow people who spread conspiracies, people who spread misinformation, or
Yeah. Or
like
just
people who
negative
live
stuff there, like
just
negative
negative
content.
stuff in general. Yeah, yeah. Or people who live their lives in a way that will like annoy you, then
Yeah.
like why would you feed your mind that? And
Yeah.
so that's something again like I'm still continually learning how to do. But yeah, like in terms of blocking out those distractions, like it's just a matter of knowing what's good for your energy and what isn't, and then feeding what is good for yourself and then blocking out the rest. It's not easy as like as simple as I said that. It's never that easy because sometimes it looks like it's good for your energy, but
Mhm.
then it's really gonna just take its toll on yourself eventually, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, social media is massive. Like you can like there's just two sides to it. It can do really good things for yourself, and then there's the other side which is really damaging as well. So it's just
Yeah.
knowing like the balance and knowing what is right and what is wrong. Then that way you can move forward. Really.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks heaps for that. I think, yeah, going over what you said with the whole message and idea behind direction over speed, I think when we chatted, so I had the opportunity and honor to collaborate with that drop on you. Like
Sure.
with Tia Marie, we were able to do that tote bag. And I remember when we first started chatting about it, you were explaining to me the whole theme and idea behind it, and you're like, oh, is that something you resonate with? And I was like, yeah, 100%, because
Mm.
I believe in that. It's everyone's always looking at how fast they're going
Uh,
and like how to get there and how fast, instead of just taking the time to enjoy the journey. And like
mm,
you said, any progress is progress at the end of the day. Small progress
exactly.
is progress. You're going to get there eventually. And I feel like we set such high expectations to get there and get there fast that we end up, we end up failing ourselves and end up hurting
Yeah.
ourselves instead, because we're not getting there at X amount of time, we're not going fast enough. And that's where that whole comparison thing comes
100%.
comes in.
Yeah, you explained it perfectly. Like we put expectations on ourselves.
Yeah.
We set timelines for ourselves, and then um, you're in such a rush to get there that you take shortcuts in terms of the journey itself. Everyone always says you should enjoy the ride. Enjoy the ride of life, the grind. Enjoy the grind while you're in it. Like So like it's all good if you win, but like
Yeah.
if you sacrifice, you know, losing your friends, your family and stuff just to be wealthy or like
Hmm. Or
or
be at
whatever
the
you
top.
consider winning be. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like just to be at the top. Like, did you really win at the end of the day?
Yeah. Was
Like
it worth it?
there's some, yeah, exactly. Like some people slave away in their eight, like straight out of high school till they're old, you know, they just slave working,
Yeah.
grinding, and that's all good. Like because you know, you do at the end of the day, you do have to make ends meet.
Hmm.
But then like you look back at your life and then you're just like, you know, is this really where like I'm like I got this, that, I got the car, I got the house, got all this, but like am I truly happy?
Happy.
Is this really the direction that I wanted my life to be at? Like I'm ticking boxes that are supposed to be successful
Hmm.
and guarantee you a great life, but like you know but you know that all comes to the individual and looking back at yourself and what it is that you actually want to achieve, and
Yeah.
then what are the steps to get there. And yeah, like you said, sometimes we do sit down, we internalize like what it is that we want for our life, and then we think, okay, how do I get there straight away, like ASAP, like,
Yeah.
and then you join that path, and then you have a setback, and then because you didn't prepare for setbacks because you thought it was going to be easy, or because you just wanted to get there as fast as you can, you start declining instead
Mhm.
of what's the
Progressing.
opposite of declining? Inclining.
And money.
Yeah, progressing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah, yeah.
I'm
So
catching
like
what you're going.
progressing, yeah. You start
Yeah.
declining, and that's not just declining like financially, also
Mhm.
like mentally, like
Yeah.
that's taking a toll. You start acting out, and man, I've seen it in my friends, seen it in my family, like
Hmm.
so I feel like the theme direction over speed can relate to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Um,
100%.
yeah, and I mean it's all good. Like sometimes you just need like that's what I'm hoping for. Layers is like the themes that we do release and the themes that we do choose to highlight as like things that can make yourself think about it, you know, and like look at your own life and reflect on the theme and be like, okay, like yeah, maybe this theme here, direction over speed, will help you recognize, you know, maybe this is like not where I want to be right now, or like this isn't the like some of my friends, they've studied, they've got the job, or like, they got
Yeah.
the degree, then
Yeah.
they've got the job that they wanted, but like it still doesn't feel like they're fulfilled, they're fully
They feel
fulfilled.
like they're missing something.
Yeah, exactly. Like maybe they have sacrificed their creative skills, or they've sacrificed their sporting skills. They sacrificed something to be successful,
In the
and
eyes of like society or family
yeah,
or whatever,
exactly,
right? Yeah.
in the eyes of society. And
Yeah.
so hopefully, like this theme will maybe resonate with someone who is feeling like that, and then maybe they can look at themselves and you know reprioritize or redirect the direction that they're heading in.
No, I think a lot of people will definitely relate to this, especially people our age, in your 20s. That's
Hmm.
kind of like the age where we're at, where we're trying to find what it is that we're
Hmm.
passionate
Eagerness.
about, or something that we need to fulfill. And yeah, also it's also the time where a lot of things are happening for us, and we're just trying to make it, I guess. But yeah, just I just was so grateful to be able to collaborate on that. And that's one thing I love about your whole values or idea behind TLP, is the fact that it's just not any like type of apparel. A lot of
Hmm.
stores just push out stuff. I think the all the thought that goes behind each piece, and the meaning and all the symbolism around it, I think that's just pretty awesome. And each drop is made with like the user, like at the end, like intent, and also trying to push that message across. And that's why I was glad that we're able to collaborate on that tote bag, because every single
Hmm.
time we kind of did our edits with our design and stuff, we kept on we did a lot of like refining of it, and just
Hmm.
being able to look back and see how we can both add like our creative skills into it, to try and to bring that message across. And yeah, so I think like when we were chatting as well, during that time, whenever we had our meetings and that, we talked a lot about like how, you know, we design everything and then we go to doing the websites and then we do the packaging, and then we talked a lot about social media, because that's one big thing that pushes a lot of sales or getting traffic onto the website is social media. So I guess like the next question I kind of had in mind was, how do you balance or cope with wearing all the hats in the business?
Oh yeah. It's a struggle, definitely.
Yeah.
Because there's things that you want to do. Like say for example, like the website for layers is really not the greatest. Like it's really basic. And like as much as I would love to dedicate some time to learn how to do it better or like fix it up, there's also a whole drop that I'm still designing or like planning for. And then at the same time, still trying to release content on Instagram and Facebook to keep our community engaged. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, sometimes like it is a struggle to balance all of the hats for layers. But
Yeah,
at the
because you're
same,
like CEO, you're creative director,
yeah,
you're
like just like you're just doing like everything. And
yeah.
um, but like the way that I look at it right now is like I'll just do this, like I'll just grind through this now
Mhm.
in hopes of eventually getting to the stage where I can, you know, offer out like jobs or um, get like grow the team at layers, and so that like one job would be, or like five jobs for myself would be five jobs between five people or like three people or just a small team.
Yeah.
So right now, like it is a struggle to juggle all of those roles.
Mhm.
But with like the bigger picture in the back of my head, like I'm just like, you know, just get through this, um, just carry on, just keep grinding it out, and then eventually you'll build up that base that you're looking for, like that foundation, and then you can start to branch out and look at other options in terms of getting the help and getting more numbers behind the movement. But yeah, right now it's just like a matter of you know, just putting your head down and getting it done. A lot of it is to do with planning, like just planning content for like what days you're gonna do stuff. So like what is today? The 14th
Yeah.
of November, which is today.
Mhm.
Um, so on the 7th, on so last Sunday, I was like, okay, on Monday, I'm gonna drop the blog. On Tuesday, we're gonna do Trivia Tuesday. On
Mhm.
Wednesday, I'm gonna make a post about the blog that I released on Monday, just to remind people,
Yeah.
like check out our website, come read this. So it's just like those little plannings that you can do to help prepare yourself. Um, so planning in advance for content to create, and then also at the same time just planning like what you're gonna do throughout your day. So like I work a 9 to 5 job, so like from 9 to 5, obviously I'm at work, but then I'm like planning like, okay, once I get home, what can I do on this day that will help me, you know, make this drop more smooth or make this drop better. So for the last week, it's been like finalizing designs, finalizing colors for those designs, sending them off for quotes, getting in touch with suppliers. So just like a big part of it is just planning. And honestly, I'm a terrible planner. Like I'm terrible, but I'm getting better, like for sure. Like
Yeah.
um, it's like essential that you need to plan out your drops, need to plan out your content, and just in order to keep wearing all those hats, you just need to have plans in place and times as well, like to stick by as well. So like, yeah, it's just a matter of being disciplined really and
Mhm.
sticking to those plans that you set out. Obviously things aren't going to work out, and it's just a matter of adapting to what will work and what won't.
Yeah.
But again, still continually learning as I go, like what works and what doesn't work.
No,
But
I
yeah.
think it's cool that you kind of gave us like a breakdown of like what usually goes on behind the scenes, because I
Hmm.
think a lot of people don't realize this is kind of like the reality for a lot of small business owners.
Yeah, I
I
know.
think everyone just looks at like, oh, you own a business, like you must be, I don't know, successful or something. You're a
Yeah,
business owner,
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
look at that like, wow, a title, but they don't realize all the hard yards that kind of go behind the scenes. Like you said, you're doing this, you're doing that. And I think it's good that you kind of mentioned some tips in there, because I reckon like planning and discipline is like 100%
Mm.
key.
I know. Probably what I would recommend though is like limiting your distractions around you. Like I would say I'll come home from work and then like my PlayStation is like sitting there and it's like ding, ding. I'm like, okay, I'll just play one game and then I'm like 2 hours in, I'm like, oh my gosh, like is that the time? Guess I'll do it
Dang it.
tomorrow. Like
Yeah.
but like yeah, so like that's something that in terms of discipline, like again,
Yeah.
I'm not perfect, like that's what I'm working towards. It's being more disciplined, limiting my distractions around me,
Mhm.
um and yeah, just like getting stuck into the grind, because like I feel like I'm the type of person that once I'm starting something, like that's it, I'm locked in. Like
Oh, that's awesome.
I'll chip away at it for
Like
like
once you get the momentum going, you're
yeah,
like on
exactly,
there.
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, I want to do this until I finish it, and then once I finished it, then I can like relax and do whatever. Or like once I feel like I need to have a break, then I'll just revisit it the next day or something. And then the next day you'll have a new like a fresh set of eyes,
Yeah.
but at least you've made more progress than you would have made by not doing it at all. But like that's just the type of person that I am. I feel like, say like for a design, for example, I
Mhm.
could sit down at my laptop for like 2 to 3 hours if
Yeah.
I had an idea in my head and just chip away at it, and then um just get like the skeleton down for the actual design, and then the next day I'd come back and revisit, touch up, and then add extra, and just continually build from
Like
there.
build on that. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think it's crucial that you mentioned distractions, because I think we don't realize where our time kind of goes. Like
I know.
you don't even realize until like you go on your phone. I think all Apple phones have that screen
Yeah,
time thing.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
at the end of the week, it tells you like
How
how
long
many
you
hours
play?
the average time that you spent on your phone, and then you can kind of map out where you spend that time. So
Mm,
I think it's like if you kind of convert that into saying putting that towards your goals, it's just like you kind of look at the opportunity
I know.
cost there. So
100%. Like, yeah, like even like with the lockdowns that we've gone through,
yeah,
like if you're to like in hindsight, like you can look back and be like, where did you spend most of your hours of your lockdown? Like,
yeah,
what did you do on a daily basis? Did any of that actually like help you grow or like help you achieve the things that you want to be doing? Like,
mhm.
because I can definitely say I didn't spend that wisely.
I
Like I was working from home
laugh.
to
I was
start with.
waiting for something inspirational, thinking you're gonna be like,
Because I definitely did. I mean,
I
nah,
laugh.
like
I
I
thought
was
you were gonna
working from
say I
home.
came out of that lockdown like smashing goals.
Nah, I'm being honest, like
Nah, that's
I spent
awesome.
that
Yeah,
lockdown
keep it
working from
real.
home, and then I was just like, after work, I'm just like, the last thing, like I spent all day on the laptop, and the last thing I want to do is spend more hours on the laptop. So I'm just like, stuff it. I'm not. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow, and then I was like, freak, like.
Yeah.
I'm like 3 weeks behind on my goals and my timelines. But like, yeah, I
No,
don't like in hindsight though. Like, I'm like, man, if I could go back, I would have done this. But it's too late. It's just a matter of moving forward.
just learning from that, and then being better.
Definitely.
I think another like cool component of the layers is your guys' radio show. Like I feel like that hooks a lot of people, or it's actually kind of something new that I've seen. With an apparel, kind of like an online
Mm.
apparel store. I reckon it's pretty cool how you guys integrate that component of music. And yeah, what brought that whole idea of having your own like radio show?
Yeah. So like, I was doing monthly playlists on layers. So I was sharing
Yeah.
like my Spotify playlist every month. But like, and that was cool. Like it was cool to see people following those playlists, and um yeah, like I really just started doing that because some people's taste in music is terrible. So I was like, and I feel like my taste in music isn't that bad. So I'm like, okay, maybe if I just share what I'm listening to, maybe other people will like update their library or
Yeah.
update their own music.
Or can
So
I just say, like, I've like updated my playlist, like, because of your like music suggestions. Some of them it's like I've never heard of, and it's quite fire. Like the last one that
yeah,
I listened to, Drop Five, I think episode 5. It
yeah,
was
yeah,
just like the whole vibes. You kind of have different types of artists, and it's not all mainstream artists, which I
yeah,
find pretty cool.
yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you. Yeah, that was pretty much like why I wanted to do it. Like just like so many people that I know will only know new music because it's on the radio. And
yeah,
I'm just like, man, like there's so many other great artists that don't get the recognition that they deserve because they're not mainstream enough or they're not signed to a label or like, because they're independent artists and stuff. So yeah, so firstly I started off sharing playlists and then it was just to like update people's music and then also just a way to interact with like the community and in
yeah.
terms of building like-minded people. Like
People, yeah,
if you're like-minded, you're going to be listening to similar stuff that I'll be like that we'll be listening to as a community. So it went from playlists, but then I felt like there wasn't much interaction in terms of like you can listen to this, but then I wouldn't know how you felt about what you're listening to, or like I
hmm
wouldn't get a gauge in terms of if you're vibing with it or not.
hmm
And so I thought of a radio show where like it could be more interactive in terms of people commenting underneath, like
hmm
oh yo this song is lit, or like fire emojis or trash can emojis. Like that way, like at least I could get a gauge in terms of
Stage,
like
yeah,
what's working with and what's not. And so that was really why I wanted to do a radio show. Also, like radio is kind of trash these days. Like the stuff that they play is just like ridiculous. Like
just like you
yeah,
said,
like
mainstream, and it just
yeah,
repeats itself. Yeah,
repeats. Yeah, exactly. Like it's every 3 hours, it's the same song kind of thing.
yeah,
So yeah, I was just I just thought like why not just try and incorporate those playlists into a radio show and just talk crap in between and just but like yeah, I feel like I don't want to talk too much because some people are just purely there for the music, and then which is cool, like because I'm the same thing, so I try to keep the talking at a minimum.
yeah,
um because on the radio shows there's so many ads too, like so many ads every
and
three
a lot of
songs kind of
trash
thing.
talking as well.
Yeah, it's just like okay, like let's just do a radio show but take out all the things that you don't like about the radio, so like the ads.
Yeah,
Sometimes the talking is all good, but then sometimes the talking is just like
they get carried away. Yeah,
yeah, we could have done without, so
yeah,
yeah, that was that's how the radio show came about, and so far it's been good. Yeah, actually so far I've like enjoyed it like a lot. Just gives me some time to like break down what I'm listening to, or like how I feel when listening to different kind of tracks. And I'm like, oh, like this could benefit someone else. Like this song makes me feel like a good mood, so like I'm gonna put this song in here because it could hopefully spark someone else's day off into a better direction. Yeah, so that's how the radio show came about, and that's probably been like a cool thing because I've always been into music too.
yeah.
Um, I used to. No one asked. No one asked, but yeah, I used to write like a lot of songs and used to sing in like a band back in high school.
Oh, can we
Um,
get a little demonstration right now?
yeah, sure. So,
Isn't
the
that microphone next to you?
kick on the nah, nah. Yeah, I used to sing in a band and
Oh,
like
true.
music. I just love music, like making
Yeah.
music, playing guitar, and just like finding melodies and harmonies that sound cool. Like that was like that's what I loved. Like that was like in terms of creativity, that was it. Like music was my creative skill. Like I didn't really think that it was on Photoshop or
hmm
um like anything else really. So I thought music was my thing. Like everyone has like a thing, I thought
Yeah.
music was my thing. But then I was just like, man, like if I'm gonna be doing the latest platform, like I can incorporate the things that I love, which is music,
Yeah.
which is like performing in a way. On the radio show, you're just putting on a different voice, not a different voice, but like you want people to feel your energy, and so you have to do it through
Kind of
your
like
voice.
hype them up and like
Yeah,
match that
exactly. Like
energy, right?
no one wants to listen to the radio if it sounds like this the whole way. So
Yeah.
like the way that you present yourself and the energy that you give off, like that's what you want to try to do when doing the radio show. And that's something that like I had to learn fast because I was like so many takes. I was listening back, like you can hear it from the start because like the radio show is about 40 to 60 minutes long,
Yeah.
and at the 10-minute mark, the energy levels are like really high.
And then
And then
it's
you
like,
come to like the 45th minute, and it's like, thank you for listening to the Layers Platform Radio Show. We'll be back next week. Like, so that was funny. Like looking back at those takes, and then so yeah. So just a matter of like that energy, keeping that energy up, and incorporating like that performing side of things into what I do here at Layers. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's pretty cool listening to your playlist because it's just like a whole vibe, and I guess it kind of matches in and ties in with the whole, I guess, aesthetic or vision or branding of what TLP is really all about. And just
Thank
from
you.
listening to you explain about like how that was kind of your creative outlet, writing and music and all that, you can kind of see all your creativity come together, merge into TLP. Like you got your like your graphics going on, and then you got your music. So I think it's just pretty cool that you're able to put out that talent and make it what TLP is today. So
Thank you.
yeah,
Too kind.
being
Too kind.
being yeah being being Kiwi and slash Niuean, like do you think that your culture kind of plays a role in your journey or part of it, or
Yeah, I feel like definitely like I mean it's like built in us,
Mhm.
like New Wayans, we're just different,
Yeah,
honestly.
we're
Like
just built different.
different, man. We like we out here, man. We out here. Nah, like honestly, I actually like I love like I'm proud to be Niuean and also Cook Island as well. Like I'm proud to be a
Yeah.
Pacific Islander in general, like we're just um like the loud group at the function, that's us, like or like
The auntie laughs.
yeah, exactly. But like we're not only that, but I mean like I take pride in like being different and especially like being Niuean, like we're so small, like we don't really have
A lot of
like the biggest
representation
population.
and
Yeah, we don't have the biggest representation. We're not really mainstream,
mhm.
like if like some random person was supposed to like supposed to meet me, they'll be like, "Oh, are you Samoan or Tongan?" I'm like, "None, man." Like like that's a cool thing about being like it's a good icebreaker as well. Like I'm from Niue, and they're like, "Where's that?" Like
Yeah.
Norway, Norway. There's no brown people in Norway. Like, nah, Niue, not
Yeah.
Newton.
Get it right,
But like,
mate.
but like, yeah, being Niuean is cool. Like, and I feel like it's like a close community too. Like
Yeah.
every Niuean, like they say every Niuean knows like everyone. So like you just it's just a matter of connecting the dots, eh? And
Yeah.
like in terms of incorporating that into my work, um, into my like lifestyle in general, it does play a huge part. Um, and like I don't know what it is about Niueans. They're actually just different. Like
Yeah.
we're just so like bright in terms of like our colors.
Hmm.
Um, we have like distinctive features about us that are different to other islands as well.
Good distinctive or bad
Yeah,
now?
like good, like
No,
man,
I'm just joking.
we look the best. Nah, just we look the best. We dress the best. Nah,
We have the
nah.
clearest waters. Nah. The
We have the
best
best
food,
taro. We have the best taro in all of the
the
islands.
best
Like,
raw fish. Nah.
nah, yeah, nah, like, and that's a huge thing. Is just like connecting your own roots in terms of like doesn't matter if you're Niuean or not. Like wherever you're from, like if you know your culture and your roots, like that stuff plays a big role in terms of your future and the direction that you want to take off. And yeah, like you said, in terms of representation, there's not much.
Yeah.
Um, but then again, being Pacific Islander in general, there isn't much representation in like like say if we're going through the apparel side of things,
Hmm.
like on the bigger picture, there's not many of us in terms of like household names, in terms of fashion, um, in terms of like retail spaces.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, like that's what we aim to break down. Those are like fields that we want to not just participate in, but also be like a change and a force in terms of that side of industries, and those different industries that we can and sorry, those different industries and spaces that we can reach out to. And we will eventually.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like it's happening every day. There's
Hmm.
Pacific Islanders doing great things in the community and around the world, and it's only a matter of time before we do branch out into wider industries and do have a say in the spaces that we do reach
Yeah.
out to.
No, that's awesome that you bring that, because I guess on like a deeper level, it's also kind of breaking down those stigmas about our
Hmm.
Polynesian
No
people.
doubt.
I guess a lot of people kind of group us into this one category that were
For sure.
only
No
good
doubt.
for, say, like sports or music or whatever.
Hmm.
And I guess just having other Polynesians, I guess, using their talents in different industries, kind of putting us on the map there, and
100%.
getting our foot in the door and try to like not only inspire our people, but
Hmm.
also motivate our people to know that we can get to that level. We're not just made for that one category. We can um, pursue whatever it is that we want. So I think it's
Yeah.
awesome that you kind of mentioned that.
Yeah, how that and like I just want to quickly say, like, if you haven't like if you're a minority, or if you just feel like you have a great idea, like,
Yeah.
and you can see it out working out really well, like, go for it. Like, take that idea and go for it, because like once you tell it to the bigger man, or the
Mhm.
like your boss or whatever, like he's gonna take that idea and like make bank off your
Yeah.
idea. You're just gonna be left with your $22 starting rate. Like, I've seen it happen so many times, and like um like the people that do keep their idea to themselves and like grind it out and see that idea through, they really do prosper when it does work out.
Mhm.
Like, it's not guaranteed that it is going to work out, but I mean, I've seen it so many times where your idea gets stolen. Seen it so many times where like you write a song and you give it to someone, and then that someone takes that song and claims it as their own. Like,
Takes all
it's
the
the same
credit
thing
for
with
it.
exactly same thing with your work and the mahi that you do. Like, you got an idea, then I say keep it to yourself. And yeah, like grind it out. Shout out to a quick shout out to Digital Discipline, Tony Laulu, man. That guy, if you're listening to this, like, you should check out his work, because he had this idea of digital discipline,
Mhm.
like just raising awareness on like what we speak about, like your time on social media.
Yeah.
And but he had that idea, and he just developed it, researched, did the grind, like grinded it all out, and like he's just taking off now, like only reaching like he's taking off really well, but I
Mhm.
feel like he's only just starting. Like, this is only the beginning for him, and so
Oh, that's
he's like a
awesome.
huge inspiration for myself too, in terms of like just going for my ideas, like the ideas that I have, and just going for it and just grinding it out. So yeah, have to shout that guy out straight up.
That's so good to see our other people making big moves out there, and being able to inspire all of us, and kind of have someone to look up to, and know that we too can reach that stage if we continue to, like you said, make those small steps to reach our bigger goal. Um,
Definitely.
yeah, so in closing, because I know I've taken up a lot of your time today.
Nah, I'm all good, man.
No, that's all good. Yeah, I guess what's the future like for the layers? What do you see from here on out? What's the future like?
Mm, that's a good question. I feel like I did have something set, and then the more that I do this journey, the more that it changes, and the more like ideas that I get. Um, but one thing that I do, for like the stuff that I do know for sure, is like definitely more drops. Or can you hear that?
No.
Is that? Oh, okay, good, good. Sorry.
Was
It's
it a
just the
dog
tap.
barking?
Nah, that's the tap running upstairs, but like
Oh.
I'm underneath it.
Hey,
Sorry.
nah.
Turn it off. Nah.
Yeah.
um,
Who's in the toilet? No, I'm joking. You're ruining my moment now.
Hey, like yeah. One thing that I do know, or like the things that I do know for sure for layers going forward, is definitely more drops, more themes to share because like you definitely have. There's so many things we haven't even covered yet. Um, different apparel. Like I don't really just want to do shirts and hoodies and just what like everyone else is doing. Like in terms of branching out, like I just want to try new things and especially things that aren't as common here in New Zealand and Australia. Like
Yeah.
everyone does shirts and hoodies and shorts as well. But I want to try branch out and do more than just that.
Yeah.
I definitely want to do more pop-up shops, events, and just getting out into the community, meeting up with people, and just vibing out, as you would say. More collabs for sure, like, and that's cool because you're my first, like, the first person I'm doing a collab with, and
Yeah.
man, it's been cool. Like, you made the process super easy.
Yeah.
In terms
I
of
think it's just
sharing,
like you said, just being able to work with like-minded people, it
yeah,
tends to come
exactly.
a lot more naturally, and you get to kind of bounce off each other with all those creative ideas. So yeah.
100%. Yeah. So like you said, 100%. Like it was just super easy communicating ideas and just going through like what would work, what wouldn't work, and like overall the message that we wanted to share. So definitely more collabs in the future with other local businesses and even small businesses as well. Like because I mean we all want to help each other out and
Yeah.
yeah. What else is there for layers? Who knows, eh? Like that's all I know for sure. Like that's exactly the
Well,
stuff that
now
I want to do.
that's the vision right now, like
Yeah,
the
but I
direction
mean
that's
it's forever changing. Eh? Like I I can say this right now. I don't want to open up a shop. Like I don't want to be like a retail shop. I'm pretty happy doing stuff online.
Mhm.
But
Would
like
you
I have had like friends.
potentially, like, if someone wanted to stock your brand in their
Mhm.
shop, would you take that route instead of opening
I'd
your own?
consider it. I'd consider it, but I at the moment I don't think I would. Eh? Like
You'll just keep it all in house.
yeah, because I feel like it just kind of overcomplicates things in terms of like managing your sales and getting like a rep or like it's just another job kind of thing. But
Yeah.
right now, I think like keeping it in house is where I'm at the moment. I've had a few people ask like, "Man, are you gonna open up a shop or like is that what you want to like a goal of yours?" And I'm like, "Nah." Like, I hated retail. Hated working in retail, and I don't want other people to
Yeah.
feel like they're gonna. But if I was to open up a shop, um, it would be more of a space than an actual shop. It would be just like a hub where people can connect and just come in and just chill. Like you don't have to buy anything, just stop by, chill out, and if you want to buy something, then cool. If not, then cool. But
Yeah.
like it would be more just like a yeah. So stop asking me if that's like a goal. Like I don't want a shop, man.
Do you guys
I
hear
want a
that?
house.
Anyone who's listening and asking Fraser that question, there's your answer.
Yeah, don't buy me a shop, buy me a house, and then we'll.
Nah, that's awesome. Yeah, I think that's definitely achievable. Everything that you have set out to go with
Mm,
TLP, I think that's just has to do a lot with scaling, and just adapting with how you go in the future and just work with what you've got. Again, thank you so much for your time. I hope everyone who was listening enjoyed that. Again, we're so grateful to have Fraser join on our very first podcast and drop some of his wisdom after over a year of running TLP and all the ideas and concepts that he's come through and all the wisdom he's dropped today. It's been pretty fire. And yeah, anything else you wanted to add before we close up here?
yeah, nah, thank you for having me. Again, super grateful to be doing this, and yeah, what a pleasure. Um, for yourself, like Sia Marie, like man, you guys are doing some cool stuff, and definitely like excited to see how this drop goes for you guys, and like the future for Sia Marie as well. Like it was cool doing the tote bag, but I feel like man, that's only like the beginning.
Yeah.
Like we can definitely like can see this branching out to do more. So thank you for like giving me the opportunity to do the collab with you. And it was super easy, super cool. And then being on the podcast too, like yeah, like that's cool.
You're like, guys, I'm the
I've
first
never done
one.
a podcast like where I'm the one getting questioned. I'm just like, man.
Did you feel special? How'd you feel now?
Yeah, hey, you know, you're lucky. Nah,
Yeah.
you're welcome. Actually, you're welcome.
Nah, that's so
But like,
cool.
it was
Yeah,
cool. Yeah, super easy. Like,
thanks for
really
sharing
easy
that.
conversation.
For the kind words and sharing that. And to everyone listening, make sure you go check out the Layers platform on Instagram, as well as on, is it SoundCloud? That's where your radio show's
Yep,
on.
on SoundCloud,
At
yeah.
the Layers platform. Any other socials I'm missing out on?
Instagram, Facebook, SoundCloud, Spotify, yeah, anything. Yeah, you can find it.
Too easy. Yeah, and yeah, that's us today. And thanks for joining us this evening. We'll catch you later.